and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Circle. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Fauziya Lukman. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sent his deepest condolence to the family of Comrade Ali Chiroma over the passing of the elder statesman. Comrade Chiroma was former president of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and has held various positions within the trade union hierarchy. The president, in a statement by his spokesperson, Ajuri Ngilali, sympathized with the Chiroma family, the organized labor community, and everyone impacted by this painful loss. The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority has warned motorists to observe speed limits when traveling along the extensive section of the newly repaired 3rd Mainland Bridge. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the agency's spokesperson, Adebayo Taufik. He urged motorists to observe all traffic signs and install technological equipment connected to traffic. The Lagos State government had on March 30th announced the planned reopening of the 3rd Mainland Bridge. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, says security agencies will go after individuals with fake university certificates in the country. According to her, the individuals will be tracked down after the committee set up by the federal government to investigate the activities of university certificate racketeers in the country submit its report. The federal government has set up an interministerial investigative committee on degree certificate miling to probe the activities of certificate racketeers following an investigative report which exposed the activities of degrees mills in the Benin Republic. In order to further strengthen the reporting system of discrimination against persons with disabilities in airports, the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, in partnership with the Center for Ability Rehabilitation Empowerment (CARE), is establishing a disability desk to address issues of discrimination emanating from air travels. Global TV brings you more. The National Commission for Persons with Disabilities have approved the deployment of its commission staff for disability desks at local and international airports across the country for easier access to persons with disabilities, while handing over some assistance devices and operational guidelines for aviation accessibility project for persons with disabilities. Founder of the Center for Ability Rehabilitation and Empowerment, Dr. Chike Okogu, appealed to the federal government to establish service desks in all local and international airports, as well as increasing the budgetary allocation for the commission.
Beyond this project, funding is important for the lives of persons with disabilities. Please, Mr. President, we are begging. We persons with disabilities are not beggars, but we are now saying, we're using the word, please, sir, in the midterm budgetary allocation, can we have at least 1 trillion naira for persons with disabilities? Yes, it is international standards.
Dr. James Lalu, the Executive Secretary, National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, in his response, expressed commitment to deploy manpower that would ensure sustainability of the project.
Based on the powers vested in us to protect the rights and dignity of persons with disabilities, we are going to dig deeper with KFC to find out the root cause of this problem, and we must review all their policies and make sure that they align with the provisions of the law and the regulations that are here in Nigeria for the protection of the rights of persons with disabilities. Today, we are taking over a project by CARES where we made the initial commitment for the sustainability of this project. The National Commission for Persons with Disabilities will deploy our personnel into the Nigerian airport to provide the necessary support for persons with disabilities.
The ES further appealed to the airport authority to secure an appropriate space where its staff can train to provide support for easy movement of persons with disability. Fauziya Lukman. The Nigerian Army 35th Artillery Brigade Alamala Abeokuta said it has handed over 441 purple-sized substances suspected to be cannabis sativa weighing 223 kilograms to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) Ogun State Command. Acting Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, 35th Artillery Brigade Alamala Abeokuta, Lieutenant Colonel Mohammed Goni, stated this in a statement made in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. Goni said the troops of the brigade has intercepted a Mazda bus conveying the substances at Mologede village in the Odeda local government area of the state. He says that Commander at 35th Artillery Brigade, Brigadier General Mohammed Aminu, commended the troops for their efforts, urging them to continue to remain vigilant in their various locations. The Kogi State Commissioner of Police, Bertrand Onoha, has presented check worth 39 million naira to 25 families of deceased officers on behalf of Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. This was contained in a statement issued by the command spokesperson, SP Williams Aya. He said this while the CP was presenting the checks, disclosing that the gesture was part of the group life assurance and group personal accident insurance scheme aimed at improving the welfare of families of deceased police officers and to also support police officers who became accident victims while carrying out their duty. The CP says the gesture was also to encourage other officers in active service to be diligent. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the detention of the Nigerian accused of being a member of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, Emmanuel Osaze, for 60 days. The trial judge Nyangeko gave the order following a motion ex parte filed by the Department of State Services. At the proceedings, the applicant's counsel, Ugi, told the court that the matter was brought pursuant of Section 66, subsection 1 of the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. He prayed the court for an order enabling the applicant to detain the respondent for 60 days pending the conclusion of the investigation. You're watching Global TV News Circle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the news circles return, steady dollar supply pushes Naira to 1,262 Naira per dollar. The news continues shortly with details of this right after this short break. To stay with us. Welcome back to Global Television, bringing you live broadcast of the news circle. Thank you for staying with us. On the foreign scene, rescuers in Taiwan are working to reach more than 600 stranded people a day after the island experienced its worst earthquake in 25 years. One survivor has recounted how trauma unleashed rockslide like bullets around the coal mine he was working at. The 7.4 magnitude earthquake hit near the eastern country of Hualien, killing 9 and injuring more than 1,000. Some struck in the tunnels and near National Park have been rescued by helicopters, but 34 are still missing. The official number of people trapped or stranded rose considerably from 100 to 660 as people started getting phone signal back in the Mountijas regions. Almost all guests and staff of a remote hotel who cannot leave because of the damaged roads. Officials are now trying to work out the best ways to get them out. Moving on to the United States of America, where U.S. President Joe Biden has condemned the Israel killing of 7 humanitarian aid workers in Gaza, saying it was outraged and heartbroken. He accused Israel of not doing enough to protect aid workers. Israel promised an independent investigation after the UK, US, Canada, Australia, and Poland lost nationals in Monday's attack. Israel President Isaac Herzog has apologized for the deaths, while the 7 victims who were working for the World Central Kitchen (WCK) were killed when the convoy was attacked from the air. President Biden called for Israel's investigation to be conducted swiftly and said it must bring accountability and its findings made public. He says distributing aid in Gaza had been so difficult, adding that Israel had not done enough to protect aid workers trying to deliver desperately needed help to civilians. Biden also accused Israel of not doing enough to protect Palestinian civilians. Lastly, moving on to business, the Naira continued to gain against the United States dollars, appreciating both out of the official foreign exchange and parallel markets to the delight of many Nigerians. At the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market, the Naira gained 116 or 126 kobo percent as the dollar was quoted as 1,262 Naira 85 kobo per dollar, stronger than 1,278 Naira 58 kobo data from the FMDX Security Exchange indicated. This means the local currency has steady dollar supply plus, pushes Naira to 1,262 Naira per dollar, continued as a positive strike against the grain with expectation of further appreciation. The appreciation of the local currency was attributed to several foreign exchange policies implemented by the Central Bank of Nigeria to boost the dollar supply and exchange transparency in the foreign markets. Manufacturers of the organized labor have kicked against the federal government's 240% hike in tariff payable by electricity users enjoying a 20 hours power supply. They insisted the electricity subsidy, warning that its removal will send manufacturers out of business and worsen inflation. The subsidy on electricity has been withdrawn completely from the tariff payable by power consumers in Band A category, who constitute about 15% of the total number of power users across the country. The government announced the hike in the electricity bill at a press briefing in Abuja by the NERC, adding that those affected will now pay a tariff of 225 Naira per kilowatt hour, up of the previous rate of 68 Naira per kilowatt, representing about 240% increase. Still on electricity, some communities in Abuja, Lagos, and Nasarawa State are currently experiencing power outages due to technical glitches. The Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company on Tuesday says the service distribution was due to significant load restrictions across many of its transmission load centers. According to the power distribution firm, the transmission stations affected included Oworo, Maryland, Itere, Isolo, Ogba, Alausa, Ejigo, Alimosho, and others. In the same vein, Abuja Electricity Distribution Company informed its customer in Nasarawa State that they were in darkness after windstorm brought down transmission lines over. The Private Telecommunications and Communications Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PTE-SSAN, has suspended its planned strike, which was to begin on Thursday. In a statement signed by its General Secretary, Okono Abdullahi, the union says the suspension was as a result of agreement reached with the subcontractors it has issues with. On April 2nd, the plans to embark on an indefinite strike over alleged unresolved issues with subcontractors hid with the Hawaii Technologies in Nigeria. Similarly, a federal high court in Abuja has adjourned the tax evasion case involving Binance Holdings and its executives. The Federal Inland Revenue Service had dragged the firm to court for tax evasion. The FIRS also alleged that while it is offering taxable services to subscribers on its trading platform, the company failed to issue invoices to subscribers for the purpose of determining the payment of its value-added taxes. The matter was adjourned following the FIR's inability to serve Barenyan the charges in EFCC custody. The Nigerian Customs Service says it has generated over 1.3 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2024. The Controller General of the service, Adewale Adeniyi, announced this while addressing journalists in Abuja on the performance of the service, where he stated that the condition of the first quarter represents a substantial increase of 124.35% compared to the same period in the year 2023, which stood at about 6.6 billion. Kikialoma Okiri was there for Global TV News.
The Comptroller General of Customs rules out that month-by-month analysis further illustrates the service growth trajectory, saying that in January 2024, revenue collection surged by 95.60%, reaching over 390.824 billion naira from over 199.809 billion naira recorded in January 2023. The upward trend continued in February 2024 with a staggering 138.68% growth, elevating revenue collection to over 450.209 billion naira from over 188.62 billion naira in February 2023. By March 2024, the revenue collected by NCS revenue grew by 132.76% from over 217.66 billion naira to over 506.642 billion naira.
Relate this to federal government's annual revenue target of 5.07 trillion for the NCS in 2024. The target translates to a monthly revenue target of 423 billion. We are pleased to report an average monthly revenue growth by 6.2% over the set monthly target and a cumulative revenue collection of 18.6% equivalent to 78,675,608,972.75 over and above a target of 1.2 trillion for the first quarter.
He further stated that in the first quarter of 2024, the NCS recorded a total of 572 seizures encompassing various items valued at over 10.593 billion naira in duty paid value, adding that January saw 111 seizures amounting to over 842 million naira in duty paid value, while February marked the highest seizure number of 432, totaling over 3.70 billion naira.
As usual, rice constituted about 40% of the seizures, followed by petroleum products at 25%, with motor vehicles and textile accounting for 9% and 6% of the seizures, respectively. During this same period, Customs detained 22 suspects, and appropriate legal measures are being taken in accordance with the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023.
The Customs Chiefs further reels out some of the challenges encountered during the quarter under review. He says these challenges encompasses issues related to non-compliance with regulations, infrastructure limitation, and a notable decline in cargo, evidenced by 4.89% decrease in the volume of transactions handled. He added that the exchange rate utilized by Customs in the clearance of goods via the Nigerian Integrated Information System is based on the rate determined by Central Bank of Nigeria. In lieu of this, he says the NCS is gearing up to launch the NCS Custom Analytical Laboratory, a critical measure set to take effect in second and third quarter 2024, a specialized facility equipped and advanced analytical instruments and techniques for scientific analysis of goods and materials.
In addition to this, significant fluctuations in exchange rates applied in the customs clearance of consignments posed considerable difficulties to our operations. Leveraging state-of-the-art technology and expertise aided by Customs Analytical Laboratory is expected to enhance our capacity to detect and prevent smuggling, counterfeit goods, and other illicit activities, thereby safeguarding public health.
He reiterated the NCS commitment to support the actualization of the 8-point agenda of President Tinubu-led administration. This commitment is demonstrated through both direct and indirect contribution to key areas such as economic growth, improved security, upholding the rules of law, and fighting corruption. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
The Nigerian Automotive Industry Development Plan Implementation Committee will address the challenge of reliance on imported vehicles in the country. The Director General of the National Automotive Design and Development Council, Joseph Osanipin, made the disclosure in a statement. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Nkiruka Uzoka Aniti, inaugurated the committee with membership from relevant federal ministries and agencies of the government in Abuja. Osanipin says the new auto policy was signed in the year 2023 with the sole aim of curtailing Nigeria's almost total dependence on imports of automobiles, adding that the implementation will meet a significant proportion of the demand through domestic production of vehicles and components. The coalition of the civil society organization CSOs, led by the Network Against Corruption and Trafficking Initiative, NACAD, has urged the House of Representatives, the Committee on Public Petitions, to accelerate its efforts in addressing petitions against indicted public officials. The CSOs expressed concerns over the delayed response in petition highlighting alleged financial infrastructures committed by the individuals holding public office. The infrastructure included money laundering, corruption, abuse of office, and false asset declaration. No fewer than 15 universities in the United Kingdom have announced plans to sack some workers and even stop running some courses because of the sharp decline in enrollment by foreign students, including Nigerians. The sharp decline in foreign student enrollment was particularly felt at the postgraduate level. The development is also connected to the decision by the UK government to reduce international students, as some concessions given them their level have been withheld down. Also, there are concerns that the high cost of living being experienced globally may negatively affect enrollment of foreign students at the undergraduate level. The volume of dollar traded turnover in foreign Nigerian exchange market (NAFEM) increased year-on-year by 95% to 12.68 billion in the first quarter of the year, from 6.5 billion in the second quarter of 2023. The sharp increase reflects impact of recent measures by the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to liberalize the forex market and improve dollar supply in the country. Analysis shows data on daily transactions provided by the FMDQ shows that the market recorded turnover of $12.14 billion in January, which increased to 133.6% to $5 billion in February, and up on 10.8% to $5.54 billion in March. Analysis of transactions in March showed that the turnover stood at $296 million on the first day of March and $1.15 billion in the second week. Lastly, on sport, ahead of the highly anticipated clash between Nigeria and South Africa for a sport of women's football event of 2024 Olympics in Paris, a section of fans has expressed concerns over the Super Falcons' chances of qualifying for the event following a camp update of team's social media handle. The two teams, arguably the best women's football squad of the African continent, will face off in a two-legged affair as they battle for one of the two tickets for Africa of the Paris 2024 Olympics women's football event. The first leg of the encounter will take place at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, on Friday, while the return leg is scheduled for Leftos Vassell Arena in Portia 4 days later. Turkish club Trabzonspor has been ordered to play 6 home matches behind closed doors after violence scene mar a league game with rivals Fenerbahce last month, a country's football federation TFF says. 2 fanciful players, Dutch defender Jadon Oosterwolde and goalkeeper Irfan Khan Igribayet, were also fined and handed 1-match ban on the TFF's disciplinary board. Oosterwolde was punished for kicking a Trabzonspor fan who had run into the pitch with his face covered. A group of the Trabzonspor fans invaded the pitch after the final whistle of the 3-2 home defeat on March 17. That's it on the News Circle. It came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Fawzia Lukman. Thanking you so very much for watching.